I knew within the first two sentences she could not turn this essay in to Harvard. And for someone who had done everything right, that was not what she wanted to hear. Hi there, friends. Welcome to the Daily Show with Dr. C. That's me, where I offer you real parenting tips, real student tales, and the hard truths that nobody else wants to share with you. And it's all about preparing your child to apply to college. So, after nearly 30 years, I've coached literally hundreds of parents and mentored over 10,000 students into top 50, top 25, and Ivy League colleges. Today, we are breaking down what Emilie did right and how she nearly blew it and what she did to better her chances. Welcome to Better We Wednesday. I want you to grab your beverage of choice because we're going to dive in right now. Okay, so today I want to teach you something that most families don't really realize until it's too late. And so tattoo this to your brain. Being qualified is not the same as being compelling. Okay? Being qualified is not the same as being compelling. And no student illustrates this more clearly than Emilie's story. A Girl Scout Gold Award recipient who was admitted early action to Harvard. Yeah, I know, I'm spoiling the goods. But this is one of my favorite essay transformation stories of all time. And that's really what you need to hear about today. But the transformation, or the reason I love it, or is one of my favorites, is not because of where she was admitted, but because why this essay and this story worked so well for Emilie. So if you are a parent of a high achieving student who's done literally everything right, I want you to listen closely, because this is what most families, where they get blindsided. All right. So I want you I want you to picture this. This student, Emilie, on paper, she's the kind of student that most parents would think, oh, she's totally set. She's got nothing to worry about. So she had all of the AQs, the academic qualities, a 4.8 GPA, a rigorous course curriculum, like tons of honors and AP courses, ACT test scores solidly in the Ivy range. She even studied Chinese and had leadership roles connected to her Chinese interests. So these are the academic things that got her notice and got someone to open a file and really pay attention. But the academics alone will not get you admitted to Harvard. And let's just say Emilie knew this to be true as well, because in my interview with her on my podcast, she acknowledged that there were other students in her class that had perfect transcripts, 5.0s, like spotless academic records. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? Probably not a single A- on that transcript, right? So understand that Emilie was not the valedictorian of her class. And that's really important, because what ultimately differentiated Emilie's application from other equally qualified applicants were her PQs, her personal qualities. Write that down. So outside of the classroom, Emilie was extraordinary. She was a varsity soccer athlete. She was the captain of both her her school team and her club team, which she had done for many, many years. She was a delegate to the Girls State, representing civic leadership. She was vice president of the Chinese National Honor Society and vice president of a Chinese tutoring club. Okay, yeah, no kidding. So she was also a founder of a club that was connected to her Girl Scout Gold Award project. Now, the project itself wasn't necessarily super symbolic, but I'll walk you through it and you're going to see it was very practical, it was scalable, and it was community focused. Okay, so here it is. Coming from a family like in the military and through law enforcement, Emily noticed that there were teenagers that were learning to drive without understanding the basics of auto mechanics and safe driving habits. That would be me. So she created an educational program first at her school, and then she expanded it outward to teach teens foundational safety and mechanical awareness. My goodness, I don't know like when I learned how to change a tire, but like I could have used that class. I don't know about you. Tell me. So this is an example of what real leadership looks like. But here's the part that I think parents really don't expect. And here's the problem, right? At the end of the day, when Emily wrote and drafted her personal statement on her own, she did it on her own. Her mom called and was like, kind of like, Houston, I think we have a problem. She was like, could you read this? I think we need some help. And so when that personal statement landed in my email inbox, it was well written. There was really nothing wrong with the essay. It was polished. It was, all, correctly, grammatically correct. But it was painfully, painfully boring. Like, I mean, painfully. So it was written in this tell voice, which, okay. But I found myself rereading the first couple sentences over and over again, not because I was enthralled, but because I kept like forgetting or like, what is this about? And even recently I read the essay again, just to prepare for today's episode. And I still couldn't tell you exactly where she is and like what the essay is about. Right. So that's the kiss of death. Like really, because if you lose your reader within the first few seconds, first few couple of sentences, the application is probably dead on arrival. Yikes, I know. So this is what I want parents to really understand and hear, because every time I talk to parents, they're like, oh, especially the high achieving ones, oh, my kid is a really good writer, right? That's one bucket. Maybe another bucket is, I know my kid needs help. So like they come to us. But the parents I worry about when they say, my kid is a good writer, or like my kid is a 4.8 student. Like, yeah, no joke. Most high achieving students don't write bad essays. That's really not the problem. But the problem is that they write protective ones. Like they're like shielding behind something. They write nice essays. They avoid risk, and they certainly never offend the reader. So they're also not trying to vilify their family. They're, just playing it safe. And when you play it safe, it doesn't allow the student, the applicant, the person writing it, to reveal who they really are, their identity. And I can tell you right now, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Stanford, they don't admit essays that are safe. So when I finally got to meet one-on-one with Emily, we didn't talk about her grades and all her accolades and all the things that made her qualified. We just talked. I probed. I asked question after question. And it wasn't until about 45 minutes into our conversation, or sort of brainstorm session, that the real story, or the real Emily, started to come out. And like, I'm going to kind of try to share with you kind of what I remember and kind of how I understood. Like what I understood was that Emily comes from a deeply rooted military family. I mean, the lineage goes way back to like the Revolutionary War. Like every male in her family, I think, became like a colonel in the army. Like the lineage was clear. Like, even though Emily herself wanted to become a colonel, no one had ever spoken to Emily about the possibility of her taking rank, so to speak. And so the assumption was that this sort of lineage would continue through Emily's brother. Okay, you follow? Okay, don't get me wrong. Like Emily loved her family, loves her family. She respects the tradition of her family, but Emily wanted more. I mean, bottom line. And I remember when she was telling me the story, I was like, that's the essay. Like that is the story you need to tell. And so we continued, and I probed her more to get some more details and kind of ripped some scribble notes down to get her started. I was like, yes, this is it. Because everything else that she had sort of brainstormed to that point in our conversation was going to appear somewhere else on the application. So no need to really repeat information. So ultimately, the essay that she did submit to Harvard was this magic military essay. It was just amazing. Now, why? Why am I saying it was amazing? Because first of all, it did a lot of more showing and not tell, but not the versus the tell voice. And it throws the reader right in directly into the scene. Like you feel right a part of the scene. You hear the cadence, you like kind of feel like the routine of a typical weekend with her father and brother. Her father is playing this military song, like things like a gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die or something. But I don't know much about the army, but I know like the marching and like that kind of thing. So I could see it, hear it. Like this was the cadence that was like the song that was waking her brother up for training. So this essay, you're not being told what's happening. You're like literally there in the moment with her in the scene. And also, Emilie uses the military language throughout the essay to give it structure and to give it like a metaphor of her life. Rank, code, duty, discipline, all these words are sort of woven through this essay. And that thread holds the entire, it's a glue that glues everything together. It gives it cohesion and it gives it identity. It's magic. And it's like a movie. Like for the reader, it really does feel like a movie. Like I can see the breakfast table. I can hear the cadence. I can feel the tension in the family. Like, and by the end of the essay, I feel like I know not only what Emilie has done, but I know who she is. I know what she stands for. I know that what she believes in. And I know that she's not afraid to stand for something. And that is magic. That's the difference. I mean, bang, bada, boom. So I want to be really clear about what she did and understand that in our signature programs, when we talk about college essay bootcamp, like we talk about the signature core 4 essays that every student needs, like in their cadre of essays, their arsenal for applying to college. You need to answer, who am I? What am I good at? What is something cool about me? And why this major? So today, I'm really trying to share with you this idea of what is the who am I essay. And the who am I essay is not about listing traits. It's not like I'm hardworking, I'm disciplined, I am motivated, I will make, a great person one day. No, these are outcomes. Identity, who I am, comes from conflict. It comes from tension. It comes from moments in our life where the student has to author themselves, or give themselves, I should say, give themselves permission to write their own script in life. Okay. So, I mean, this is really the rite of passage going from teenager to, young adulthood. So understand that elite colleges are not looking for impressive students. What they are looking for are students who are self-aware. Emilie does not reject her family or villainize her parents. That's not what she's doing. She's integrating tradition and transformation. Okay. So she doesn't break the family code or anything like that. She just simply rewrites her rank within her family. That's good, right? That's maturity. And also that is what we call readiness. So, okay, I already told you, she applied early action single choice to Harvard. She was admitted before Christmas. And I really respect this little tidbit of her that I'm going to share. And that is, once she was admitted to Harvard, she withdrew, if I remember correctly, she withdrew her applications to a few of the other top Ivy League institutions. But she had already applied to the UC system and to West Point. So she was also admitted later to West Point and UCLA, maybe others too, but those are the ones I really remember. So understand that Harvard did not admit Emilie because she was perfect, right? And admittedly, she wasn't perfectly perfect, but they admitted her because she was ready, right? And when I say ready, I mean like ready, ready to be challenged, ready to question her inherited beliefs from home. She was ready to lead herself before leading others. So the truth is, when applying to places like HYPRS, I tell my students, you got to go big or you got to go home. Like, that's it. One of the reasons this story so sticks with me even to this day is that Emily was doing everything right. She was actually way ahead of schedule, except when it came to giving time to her essays. So our new families come to us usually in two different buckets. So one, they come because they know the outcome, they want to go into a top college, but they're not sure how they should spend their time in showing leadership. In other words, growing a project kind of that we call a level 4, a level 5, something that goes beyond a passion project. So that essentially for us is like a gold award level project and beyond. The second bucket of families comes to us very much like Emily. And although they're more rare, I will say, few families, but some families do come to us and find us and say, like, we've done everything right. Like, she's basically, she had all the accolades, accomplishments. So she had earned the right to have a real shot in an Ivy League institution. But she almost blew it by skipping that last step, that last final step. The narrative, the essays, ties your application in a nice bow and like serves it up on a silver platter so that it's hard to say no. Okay. So, all right. So you know how I like to roll. Like, I like to give you practical must-dos and takeaways so that you can actually take action steps to helping, as a parent, helping your child get closer to their goal, and you being a better parent, right? When you can know what to do and be the encourager, you're going to be a better parent, and they'll thank you later. They probably won't thank you now. Don't kid yourself, right? Okay, so here are your must-dos. Number 1, watch this episode again with your teen in tow, okay? Now, if you have a younger kiddo who still is already talking about HYPNS, well, they're an early aspiring unicorn, and definitely watch it with them. It's never too early. Number 2, for this month, follow us on Wednesdays, especially because I'm highlighting real can-do gold award Girl Scouts. So I know I'm a sucker for a theme. It's cookie season, so why not? Number 3, the lesson today for parents is start early. That is what Emily's mom did correctly. She got her daughter on the path early on, and little by little baby steps, they took the steps they needed early on. Okay. Now, number 4 is, if you do want a little bit of a cheat sheet on how college admissions actually works, sort of the behind the scenes tips, and actually I break down how I reviewed applications. So that is a link below. It's free. You can download it. But for those of you who are wanting to read real essays from real students who real decisions were admitted to top 100, top 50, top 25, and Ivy League institutions, there is a link below that you can, it's like 40 plus, like, I don't know, there's probably close to 50 essays in there, including Emily's. So you can access that, and it's just $17. And it's really, so that you can actually see. I think that's the best way to learn this process, is to see what works, right? Like, why reinvent the wheel? You can see what worked and get ideas for yourself. Okay, boom. We made it. So welcome to the family. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you found us. And I understand that I've been a writer and a content creator and an educator for over 10 years. I've been an educator for longer than that. But this is my first daily show. So I'd love to ask you very boldly if you could do me a favor. I ask this to my students at the end of all of our sessions. My VIP clients, I always say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how helpful was today? So I'm asking you, how helpful was today's video? 1, Dr. C, this was not helpful at all. Or 10, this was exactly what I needed today. So I assume most of you, please comment below, but I'm assuming fully expect that most of you will say something below a 10. So if you write below a 10, a number below a 10, please tell me what would have made it a 10. Don't worry, I don't take this personally. I'm a researcher, I'm a scientist, I love data, and it helps me improve and get better, pun intended, so I can serve you. All right, sound good? It's fair trade? All right, I love it. Okay, let's see. What else do I need to say to you? Looking at my notes. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. If you like a good sneak peek, like I like a sneak peek, understand that on Thursdays are Truth Talk Thursdays. So I'll be coming to you with some hard truths that basically most people don't like to say out loud, but you need to hear them, right? I give it to you real and raw and candid with a whole lot of love and rah rah. Ooh, there you go, my pom pom. So that's that. All right, so that's coming to you tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow as well. If this episode has been helpful for you, please consider passing this on and sharing it with 3 people in the next 5 minutes. Other than that, that's all I've got for you today, my friends. I hope you've enjoyed today. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bells and all the things. I hope I'm saying this correctly, but you know what I mean. So it will help other rockstar parents just like you find us right here on this channel. You are amazing and you are beautiful on the inside and out. So until tomorrow, remember, wherever you are, go out and make it a happy and sunny day. Bye for now.